Good evening. I'm Carrie Bullock, mother of 5, and wife of 30 years to Scott Bullock, who is also the head coach of girls basketball at Woodinville High School. Our 3 oldest children began and ended their grade school education in North Shore School District and graduated from Woodinville High School and have been very successful in their colleges and careers since. And those who know us, hear us frequently give credit where credit is due, which is not to us as parents, but to the fine opportunities of academic excellence in North Shore School District and to the teachers and other staff members who work with them. Our 2 youngest are in 2nd and 4th grade at Bear Creek Elementary, slated to attend Timbercrest Junior High. On May 12th, I was informed of a series of verbal and social media messages from the mouth and mind of a Timbercrest student laced with strong racist language, including threats. Quoting one series, "There are no black humans at our school. I wish I didn't have to deal with the 3/8 men. I'm going to come back and kill them with knives, then kill myself." I understand that Timbercrest staff members and our administrators were informed of the threats and suicidal language. I don't understand why local law enforcement plus NSD security was not contacted immediately. Is it due to any Timbercrest or North Shore staff who are desensitized to bad habits of racial rhetoric? Is it due to absence of policy that speaks to zero tolerance for death threats in our schools? If so, why in 2004 did local law enforcement plus NSD security instantly arrive on Timbercrest campus after a non-specific potential threat to student safety? It was reported by the principal, which resulted in the student being booked to King County Youth Center for help, where an investigation began right away. Parents of Timbercrest students received a letter on the same day from the principal, quote, "Because the safety of students and staff is our #1 priority, we took the threat seriously and thankfully it was resolved quickly. We appreciate the quick actions of the students and staff who reported the threat, as well as the rapid response of police," end quote. Adding to my view of inept risk management for all Timbercrest students in May of 2015, my voice comes for North Shore students of African descent. It is not only a privilege for them to study and learn with an academic excellence in North Shore schools, it is the district's privilege to have them as students. Communication, apology, and action that show you value their presence enough to fight for this small but beautiful piece of diversity within the demographics of North Shore School District. If you'd like my help with these goals, you can count on me. No child is safe until every child is safe.
How does it go? Oh, okay. Terry Stewart, I am a former parent of North Shore School District kids. I am here with regard to the incident of bullying and racism at Timbercrest Junior High. I would like to talk to you about my personal experience as a parent and about racism in general. As a parent of a transgender youth, my experience of this same school was of my child being bullied and threatened by other students. Additionally, my child was bullied by a teacher. When my child told another teacher that he was being bullied, their response was something like, "I'm sorry, school is rough." In other words, too bad, so sad. Kids will be kids, suck it up. When my older son, who had medical issues, was bullied by a teacher at the same school, well, he was told that he can skip her class. That is the educational solution. When I read the policies and learned that I could demand some things, the principal said to me, "I could do that, but this teacher will not change, so I'm not going to." And my kid's babysitter was also a student from that same junior high. She was bullied at the school and she left the school district. Her parents pulled her out. And the end result for me was pulling out both of my children from the school district because they would not guarantee the safety of my children. And I did not have time to wait for the school to catch up with my children. My one child, who is transgender, was cutting and had tried to commit suicide. I had no more time. It was my house on fire. This This is how systemic bullying happens and becomes a part of the system. Students, teachers, and principals have all, in the same, somewhat distant parents, because I'm kind of old, we have laid a foundation of looking the other way and treating diversity's demand for equity, safety, and fairness as annoying. Even naming the communication from family members in public. If the school cannot discuss the investigation going on or the discipline involved, then they should not be able to discuss a specific parent's communication at all. How we use systemic privilege as educated people. Privilege is always going to be defined through convenience. It is inconvenient for those with privilege to have to change or to conform in order to acknowledge the full humanity of those minorities that have historically been denied access and power. As such, privilege will always view the change and required adjustment as an assault on their core being. From their position, it is illogical that the majority should change to accommodate the minority. Thus, privilege is often less about values and more about convenience. It is inconvenient to focus on racism when trying to look at all diversity issues, and yet it must be done. Rats.
I'm very short enough. Yeah.
Okay. It is inconvenient, and yet it must be done. For the same reason that Black Lives Matter exist rather than All Lives Matter, African Americans are more likely to be bullied than those of Western European descent. They are more likely to be suspended, and they are more likely to drop out of school. While all lives matter, there is a particular concern for Black Lives Matter because they pay the price for inept policies and attitudes of our system. Education, justice, healthcare, economic, and more. Convenience. All life matters. Black Lives Matters. I know that the desire is for convenience to wait until we can discuss all diversities. I've seen that in writing. There is a special urgency around the values of racial equity that is a burning discussion raging across the nation. And trust me, as a mother of a transgender child, I do not wish to put the safety of anyone in the LGBTQIA* community on the back seat. But the truth is, the most vulnerable population we have is to be transgender and African American. If we can bring safety to African Americans, it will bring safety to all of my beloved LGBTQ friends. Bullying is not okay. A systemic response that treats the victim with less privilege than the offender is not okay. I'm reminded of President Lyndon Johnson's desire to have Martin Luther King Jr. He begged the President Johnson to send troops to Alabama, right? And President Johnson had his own agenda. He wanted to bring victory to the poor instead. But you know what? Lives were withering. And when lives are withering, you have to save them. It may seem like hyperbole, and it is, a little. Bullying does lead to suicide at a much higher rate. If our African American children are being bullied at higher rates, they are committing suicide at higher rates. Lives are at stake. Black Lives Matter. You have the opportunity to decide that you can wait until it is convenient to examine all diversities and the issues each has with the school system, or you can begin to act now to address an issue you know about now. Or you can wait. But it is dictated by the values of concern for those among us who are the most deeply wounded. Now, choose values, not convenience. Now is the time to create an equity board. Now is the time to create threat assessment teams. Now is the time to have meaningful in-school suspension systems that address root causes before death threats occur. Now is the time to have restorative practices that hears the voices of the victim. Now is the time, and it may not be convenient, but North Shore values demand it. No child is safe until every child